First and foremost, Mr. Govind, thank you very much. The panel looks amazing. Thank you for joining us. And I hand it over to you.
Thank you, buddy. My voice is audible? Okay. So guys, welcome all of you. I believe it's a tremendous day that we are having here with regards to the kind of turnout that we have got. And thanks to all of you. You all are doing some amazing work in this space. So guys, before we get started, they are the PropTech as an industry. I literally call that there's been a pilot batch that has already gone. There's a new batch which has come in. And you guys have been a great inspiration to me in person. But there are a lot of people in the audience who might not know what exactly you guys are doing, and it's very important to create that awareness as well. And with that, Jesal and everybody after him, if you could just give a little bit of an idea in maybe say 20 words, कि आप लोग अपने जो दिनचर्या में जो everyday, what is that you are doing? What is the problem you are solving?
Is this on? Is this on? Okay. So hi, my name is Jesal Sanghvi. I run a company called Homexchange. Homexchange's motto is sell, choose, buy. Instantly sell your current home to us, get the liquidity, and upgrade to your dream new home seamlessly. Is that
good enough? Good enough.
All right. Abhishek, Kiran, Gupta. We have made a mobile app. It's free. You can go and search for any property in Bombay, Thane, Pune. And when I say any property, it can be a residential tower or a commercial tower. And आप सिर्फ उंगली रखो उस tower के ऊपर and it'll tell you the unit number, floor number, कितने पे बिका, कितने पे rent पे गया, everything. Your house, Jesal's house, my house, doesn't matter. The only thing we will protect is your name. That is not disclosed to anybody. But somebody in this house bought it at this price or rented at this price. And it's on your fingertips. So please, हाथ जोड़ के मैं बोलता हूँ, घर मत खरीदना या बेचना या भाड़े पे लेना without the app. So it's not even a marketing pitch, right? Because it's free.
Very well done, yeah.
Yeah, so guys, PropVR is into 3D visualization and interactive applications for real estate developers. And we are not only into that, but we make real estate developers future ready for metaverse.
Now, metaverse is a big buzzword. We will go in the depth of it as well. So those who do not know it, we will come back to that.
Hi guys, can everyone hear me? Cool? Yeah. So I'm the co-founder and CEO of PropReturns. We have created India's largest real estate investment marketplace. Matlab samjho like Amazon for real estate investments. You can buy pretty much anything you want with complete detailed financial data. So pre-leased commercial assets, plots, stressed assets, loans, REITs, you name it, you can buy it through the platform. So that's what we created.
Thanks a lot, Kenish. And everybody, that's a great start. I believe you guys have got a little bit of an idea ki what these guys are doing to solve the problem that everybody who's coming as an audience here, which is buying a home, how are they making it simple? And today's agenda is to deep dive into it, how are they doing it? So Jesal, I will come to you directly to begin with. आप लोग ज़्यादा secondary market में deal करते हैं, where you have a promise that if you want to sell your home, come to us. And you also help them in giving them or providing them a new home. Now, my first question is, what is the biggest challenge that you see in terms of your customer acquisition?
So Govind, first of all, we don't deal in the metaverse. We are in the very real industry of real estate, right? Housing and a home is a fundamental need of every family. Historically, how transactions have taken place or the journey of a consumer, it has been very well defined for decades. आप एक घर लो, उसको 20-25 साल रहो, उसको जब बेचने का टाइम आएगा तो आप सोचोगे 6, 7, 8 महीने निकलेगा, बेच के फिर नया खरीदोगे, right? The market was structured in that manner. Sometimes you are lucky, sometimes you are not, right? And that is a very, very stressful process, right? I mean, we all have been through that journey. And as an ecosystem, there are so many developers here. Ultimately, the time is that leakage for everyone, right? So we are trying to crack that problem. But at the same time, this consumer journey, which is broken up in the parts, I have to sell, I have to get the value, and then I have to buy. People take a lot of time to understand, so they're not used to understanding what should their home value be if I have to sell it today versus 2 years down the line. So that journey is something that we are building, and as a brand which we keep delivering, we have fantastically happy customers. That has been the transition we are trying to get people to, that you don't have to spend that much time. And that is the opportunity as well, because you're changing the way how people transact, right? And we bring them that confidence that when you deal with us, once we give you an instant price, it can be done in 15, 20, 30 days. I mean, literally, you know, it's a big change from prior days, right? So I think that is a challenge, but that is the opportunity, right? It
Absolutely.
takes long time to change habits.
True that, true that. So Abhishek, I'll come to you. So guys, just to give an idea, Abhishek has been running a firm called CRE-MATRIX. A lot of developers here are already his clients. Now what he's doing is trying to win the customers here. Okay, so Abhishek, the question that I have for you is, how has been the journey from driving a business onto the B2B side, going to the developers, to the B2C side? Is this journey somewhat similar for you, or it is different? And if it is different, what are the challenges or the opportunities areas that you are facing so far?
Totally different. B2B has a face, right? You're my client, I know you, I can talk to you, I make a gochi, I can come to you, give you a pyar ki jhappi, we can do something.
Absolutely.
B2C is completely faceless. We don't see them, they don't see us, they only see an app. You make a mistake, you lose him permanently, he never comes back to you because you don't know him, right? So it's a different world, number one. Number two, right? Modi says this every day, so you can't miss it, 130 crore people, right? So it's a huge market. For us to even imagine that we can do from B2B to B2C was itself a big inertia and a mindset change, right? Plus, the beauty of our country is we have Marathi also, Bengali also, Tamil also, and we have to convert all of this data, which is in crores, to English and then present it to the B2C customer. Because if you're coming on my app and you're going to look at for your house, I can't say, "Arey, sorry sir, wo to nahi cover kiya." Dhaval bhai and Boman, I can say I'll cover in 24 hours. I can tell Jesal I can cover in 48 hours. Right. How do I say to the gentleman sitting over here? Absolutely. Right? Sea of a difference. Absolutely. So all of these are great challenges. The reason they're great is because anybody who wants to ape it will also face it even bigger as we move forward, because we'll be miles ahead of them. True. Right? So every challenge, as he just said, is also a great opportunity for people to be.
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely. Thanks a lot for putting, this is something I personally also wanted to know. So next, Srinath, I have a very particular question for you. During the lockdown, since, you know, as Jesal said, that he's in the real world and you somewhere are dealing with the virtual world, and during the pandemic, you had a certain traction. But after the pandemic, I wanted to know how has been the traction like. So जो virtual staging के जो हमें benefit थे, जो lockdown में अगर customers को घर दिखाना था, तो हम virtually उनको दिखा पाते थे thanks to the platform that you have built. But how is the journey now when everything is open, the real world is existing? So what is happening on site to the virtual world that you have created? How are you going about it? And what's the traction like?
So as you were telling, yes, you are right. There was a huge demand during pandemic. All the real estate developers had to virtually show their platform to the customers for all the home buyers. So it was not only on just virtual staging or virtual tour, it was also on remote showcasing. So customers would not come to the site. The consumer behavior completely changed because they don't want to step out of their homes. So, but still you have to bring the property to them. How do you do that? So that was a big kick for us, and we were able to do a huge amount of digitization for all developers across the world. But post-pandemic, the behavior still is so exciting, you guys won't believe. There are many investors, NRIs, HNI clients and all, and even the developers have started understanding that the technology is a lot of cost saving for them, right? To arrange a physical site visit and create a data funnel for themselves and call every customer to their place. And they have been spending so much amount of money. But pandemic taught them that technologies can bring customers even online and buy properties online and virtual. So that's where even the behavior today has not changed. Might be the percentage compared to what it happened in pandemic could reduce, but developers have started adapting this as a mandate to show customers the project virtually first. So once they've seen it virtually, they know the product. Now they are coming to the site only to procure it or buy it. So the clarity of the product is given more online rather than just sending them a presentation or a brochure or things like that or a video. More than that, virtual staging and virtual tours have given more clarity for home buyers to choose and go and target that particular thing.
That's a great explanation. Kenish, I will come to you specifically. So if you would have heard, Kenish mentioned that his company PropReturns is like Amazon for real estate, right? Now Amazon पे तो बहुत कुछ बिकता है. So Kenish, what I want you to tell us is what are you really selling on your Amazon for the real estate, and what are the asset classes typically in real estate which are doing amazing, and which are the places you see opportunity but they might not be trending so well right now. So if you could just give a little bit of insight there.
No, sure. So we have over 6+ asset classes on the platform, like Amazon, how you mentioned. Although we're really small, right? The aim is to capture India in the real estate investment sales market. Our fastest growing asset class is pre-leased commercial assets. Like, it sells like hot cake. It typically takes, if something is listed on the platform, on our marketplace, it takes around 7 to 10 days for a pre-leased asset to sell. And that's just because we have 11,000 investors on the platform today, 600+ pre-leased assets from the supply side. So that's the best asset class because people want passive rental income, right? And other asset classes which are still developing, right? I would still say there's a traction coming up in the stressed assets as a asset class. So distressed residential, distressed commercial properties where there's a lot of scope of appreciation, but it's not rented out. So it's only those savvy investors who look for an appreciation in a down market. For them, the asset class is picking up. So that's my take on it. Pre-leased is the best, and the aim is to capture India in terms of pre-leased business. It's a niche business, but there's a lot to do.
Superb, superb. So everybody remember, whenever that you have money to park in real estate, PropReturns is the place to go for. They have multiple options like Amazon. So do visit the website. Now, one question to all of you. Now, this comes out of my personal experiences. You see a problem. As an entrepreneur, you want to fix the problem. But you have a certain way कि यार इस तरह से we will be fixing the problem. But in the journey, you realize that there is great insight coming from the customer point of view. And that at times defines what is it that you're going to do. I wanted to know from all of your journey, what has been that key interaction or moment where out of an interaction with the customer or maybe the channel partners, a lot of channel partners here as well, we're expecting around 5,000 of them coming in the 4 days. I wanted to know what is that interaction which helped you pivot your journey or strengthen your journey and to make sure that you're moving toward profitability or the goal that you wanted to achieve. So this question is from all. Jesal, if you would love to start.
No, see, Govind, we are in an ecosystem where we'll be working with all stakeholders. We are working with customers, we are working with developers, and we are working with channel partners, right? So all of these interactions have been a huge source of learning. But when I look at my primary product, right? When we first started, the very simple way was to say, यार किसी को पैसा दे दो, वो बेच देगा घर और आगे निकल जाएगा, right? But it is not as simple. What we realized along the way is that you have to enable everyone. You have to be the solution and not just a price point, right? What we are doing in our product, and now we've configured our product to that mindset, is that we are becoming a solution for a customer, taking his stress away, building a journey for him that is very fast and really helping him breathe easy when he's doing one of the most stressful things in his life, right? And that solution has come about as we've interacted with more and more customers. So initially we were just going out and giving a price, right? Rather than focus on the price, which we are obviously giving a very fair price, we've created a solution that allows him to win in every circumstance, right? You have to kind of take him through that, and that is a much bigger, value for him than just me giving him a price and बाद में वो सोचेगा यार मैंने सस्ता तो नहीं बेच दिया, right? Or something like that. So the value add has to be so significant that he should come to us, right? And similarly, obviously, for developers, we'll be kind of working on those kind of things. With channel partners, we work when we are selling our, the inventory we take on. And we've been working with channel partners on a repeat basis, right? We will obviously keep working with the ecosystem and growing it. So as soon as you start becoming a solution and an enabler, that's where the power is much more massive, right? And that mindset is what we are trying to build.
Lovely. Abhishek.
Okay.
So as the CEO of my firm, I say this to my team all the time. So I'm going to say it here as well. There are 3 people who work on the platform every day. One is us, the founders. Second is our team. And the third is our clients. You have to hear them every day. You might not like their feedback at that moment. बहुत पका रहा है, but I'm guaranteeing it on the hindsight, you love it. Because they improve, they push you to improve the product, right? I'll give you an example. When we started off with the CRE-MATRIX platform, we had every data. When did the lease start? When will it end? Name of the tenant, the area occupied, rent, everything. The channel partners come and tell us, or the IPs come and tell us, अरे नंबर नहीं है सर आपके पास, मैं फ़ोन कैसे करूँगा उसको? आपने तो बता दिया उसको कितना रेंट देता है, कब उसका लीज खत्म होएगा, पर नंबर तो दो. We got that done. We got that done, right? So if you don't listen, then you stay with whatever you're doing. Then they might, so you have to listen to it. Another example, a developer came to us and said, I'm making a project in, let's say, Bandra, and I want to know, मेरे 2 किलोमीटर रेडियस में कितने लोग भाड़े पे रहते हैं. Can anybody over here tell me has this data? Does anybody have this data? Nobody has it except us. Not trying to boast, but genuinely the developer was shocked. पहले बात तो he doesn't know how many people stay in the vicinity. Second, we can tell you how many people are staying on rent out of those people. Third, उनका rent कितना है? So he said, I only want those people whose rentals are above 1.5 lakh rupees. Why? Because अगर वो rent दे सकता है तो यहाँ भी दे सकता है. So he is my lowest hanging fruit for buying my house, right? So unless you listen and listen hard, you're not improving. That's for sure.
Lovely insight, Abhishek. And those who wanted to understand a little more, one thing that I like about his platform, यार आप जो भी rent pay कर रहे हो और आपको doubt होता है कि rent pay सही कर रहे हो कि नहीं, just go to index tab and it will tell you कि पड़ोसी का rent क्या है, उसके हिसाब से define your rent. And the same, when you're buying a home, it's the same thing. You can do कि पड़ोसी ने घर कितने में खरीदा. Am I right, Abhishek? Right? That is, the पड़ोसी is what you're selling. Their number, yeah. Okay. So, Srinath, coming to you for the same question.
Yeah, the biggest learning for us in this domain space is like real estate is not about one parameter. Nobody is buying home just because there is huge amount of amenities or the location is good. Not one factor that determines the sale or purchase of a real estate. So this learning made sure that our product is built in such a way that the entire developer ka story, okay, the amenities, the exteriors, the interiors, pura project, and in fact it involves a lot of emotion of a customer as well while buying. So everything combined together on a digital platform, and today the sales team which are selling the properties would be ready to immerse the client into that entire storytelling process. So that's where we had a biggest learning, and that's where our platform is today. And this is what is about it.
Yeah, I've been your customer myself, so yeah, that's a good insight. Kenish.
So I think India mein the biggest challenge, and we all know, is one challenge obviously you're solving is data, right? But there is no standardization. A lot of things are hidden, not accurate. So what we realized is, I mean, मैं तो पहले धंधा चला रहा था, right? I was just doing pre-lease business for people, for investors. But then I was like, you know what? Let's put this online. We put each and every parameter of a pre-lease transaction online. Most of the investors, everyone has different ROI models, right? एक financial model सबका अलग होता है. There is no standardization in Indian real estate industry. So that's what we learned from customers. They want standardization. They want each and every metric to not be hidden. Complete due diligence done for each and every asset class. And most importantly, people want access to more asset classes and more variety. So that's how we created an entire marketplace around it. And that has been, you know, one learning from that.
Superb, yeah. So, guys, one of the important problem while consulting a lot of players in this space and while interacting with them, we realize that there's a classic chicken egg problem that this industry faces, right? The problem basically is how do you cater to the supply and demand, right? Now for the real estate developers, supply and demand is very different compared to what you guys as a platform have to offer. So your supply is the inventory which is available, जिसको customer देख सकता है और सोच सकता है, समझ सकता है. And एक है उस inventory के लिए जो आपने list की है, उसके लिए right customer ढूंढना, right? That is the largest problem. And this is one thing where we have seen in the last 1 decade, so many platforms came in and they struggled. सप्लाई आ गई पर कस्टमर नहीं है, और अगर कस्टमर जब आ रहा है तो सप्लाई के जो डेट्स हैं वो पुराने हो गए, राइट? वी नो दे आर नॉट वर्किंग एनीमोर. So how are you solving this problem into the businesses that you are in? Because you all four are catering to somewhat similar space in a different a niche of your own. But how are you solving this challenge? What is your GTM for this? What is your go-to-market strategy? So Abhishek is suggesting let's start with Kenish or Srinath. Okay, so let's do reverse. Kenish.
So for us, I mean, I truly believe real estate investment mein supply is always a challenge. I don't think demand is a challenge. Investors love real estate, especially Indians, right? I think I read somewhere that more than 80-85% of an average Indian's wealth is in real estate. Although not rent yielding real estate, matlab log ghar khareedte, which is a sort of good decision. But I think supply has always been a challenge for us. To be very honest with you, if you ask us how we're solving it, we're not.
You're still discovering the
Yeah, we're
formula.
just, I mean, the best way is, you know what, like for supply, you reach out to each and every stakeholder. Today, now developers come to us, tell them that we want to sell our asset, our commercial asset, LOI stage pay, which is a letter of intent, and we want to sell it to investors. So I think developers, channel partners, once you create an entire ecosystem around it, you get supply automatically, but it's a very tough challenge to solve. And how we started as a platform is we just listed all and every possible supply, demand will always come. That's my take on it.
Lovely, Kenish. So, Srinath, do talk about, like, you guys have built at PropVR Square Yards something in Dubai Metaverse. How did you get the whole, all these guys to participate, be on the platform and all the data coming in? And of course, yeah, the overall challenge, the same question. What has been your GTM so far?
So in terms of Dubai Metaverse that you were talking about, the data for Dubai and country like Canada or even Europe, there is a lot of data that is available. But a country like India, there is a lot of gap in data transparency and digitizing them. So we are already ready.
You can't say that when I'm sitting here.
No, and there are a few people like us who are actually trying to solve it. But to be very frank, the fact is that there is a lot of, there is lack of transparency in data on a whole. So what we are trying to do here, and even in India, is like close to around 8 cities, we have already created the digital twin. So we are ready for a launch next year, even a metaverse for India, not only just for Dubai. So Dubai Pay, what we have done is platforms like Unreal and Unity, using these kind of gaming engine platforms, we have completely created the city and we have made the search of home as an easier case with 3D visualization. So as people are talking about demand and supply and inventory as well, so what we have done is we have created centralized management system for many top developers in the country, and using that we are trying to also build something for B2C which can take transparency in demand and supply as well. So there is some hesitance between the developers as well to not disclose that some data or some demand is there in the market or not, because the market is competitive. Now as a developer, I say I have so many inventory available that can even backfire me. So there is a lot of pros and cons in that, but we are building a centralized management system for many top developers in India. So with the help of these developers, we'll take this to B2C segment as well.
Lovely. Abhishek.
Okay, so before I answer the question, Kenish, you spoke about returns, right? This report is exactly made for you, right? Seriously, it talks about CRE. We compared 10 years of returns of all financial assets. You spoke about 6 on your platform, except REITs, because we don't have that much depth. Everything else is covered here, right? And it actually interestingly says that CRE is double digit and consistently double digit, right? Because some senior person told me a few years back when I was much younger in JLL, कि घर नहीं गिरेंगे, वो stock market तो ऐसा फुग्गा है, वो तो कभी भी फूट जाएगा, right? Now I might not agree with him today, but you know, buildings are not falling. So yeah, so real estate is here and it's a tangible asset. But coming back to the question, I don't know the murgi and the anda and the demand and supply, how the correlation works. But for us, everything is data, right? Everything starts and ends with data. We first thought we'll go to the developers to get data. Then we said that's not working. 500 developers, too much of haji. Sorry, developers, right? Then we said we'll go to the mother of all, which is the government. So all data comes from there. But if that question is about what has to happen first? For us, it has to be the murgi first. You have to have the data, the supply, everything on the system. Only then the demand will come. I cannot say that I've only covered Santa Cruz and Bandra. Ab abhi baba customers aa jao hamare platform pe. Sorry, not working. You have to cover entire Bombay, maybe even Thane, maybe even Palghar, maybe even Pune, Bangalore, and then get people on the platform, right? So,
Oh, that's a precise answer. Data is your GTM. You get the data sorted for the customers, and you are solving the problem this way. So you are catering to the murgi anda problem somehow, right? Okay, Jesal, over to you.
No, so I think this one is relatively easy for me, right? Because if you think about supply and demand for me, in which hat I'm wearing, it means different things, right? So when I talk about supply of old homes, I mean, we are a large ecosystem. Everyone has a home. We are adding more and more homes. Just like cars, the day it's out of the showroom, it becomes an existing resale home, right? So जिस दिन नया घर बिकता है, अगले साल वो बेचने निकलेगा तो वो पुराना घर है. So in that sense, supply is abundant for us, right? Then when you talk about the demand part of it, you know, everyone is moving. We look at the number of transactions annually. So fundamentally, developers are adding inventory. At times, we may have cycles of how much RTMI is available or not available, and people make decisions. But I think we have to configure solutions in which people are more stable in terms of the demand we can create every year for the developer product as well, right? And I think that is something that will happen. And I think, you know, all of these people, Srinath, Kenish, in terms of demand, they are also helping in the long run by creating very interesting products, right? And they are enablers as well. So I didn't mean it in a bad way that, you know, they are in the meta world and we are in the... But people are going there. Ultimately, they have to live in a home, right? So for us, supply and demand is really not the biggest challenge. जितने पुराने घर है और जितने नए घर आ रहे हैं, हमेशा supply होती है. And then at every price, so the demand for an old home is at a price, right? So at every price, there's more than enough supply and demand because everyone cannot afford a new home. They've just come in. So we are not too worried about it. It's just kind of plugging the interrelationships and saying, can we structure a solution to give it to them, right?
Absolutely. Right. Lovely answer, guys. Now I'm coming to a little more controversial question. So let me just go a little, what do I call, little straight. So 99 acres and Magic Bricks का नाम सबने सुना होगा यहाँ पे? Everybody? So guys, typically 99 acres and Magic Bricks have been there for a very, very, very long time. Like, there is something they didn't do right. That is how I look at it, right? And that's the reason these are the 4 founders coming in. There are more of them, right? There's a space that they left. And that is the space that you are now looking at it as an opportunity. And you are solving a problem for the customers. The question that I really have is, 99 and Magic Bricks today as well have somehow created an entry barrier by ensuring they have a great amount of organic traction. The number of customers as a recall or even the Google SEO supporting them for their listing, they tend to go to them first, right? Let's say that. But in your field, you are somewhere doing, you are in a niche space, but you are operating with a similar kind of customers as well. So what is your entry barrier that you are creating, जिसके वजह से you believe that customers over a period of time will start switching from this legacy players for their first search, instead of going to 99 acres or Magic Bricks, they would be coming to your respective platform. So what is the entry barrier that you believe that you have, which they left a void over and you took as an opportunity for yourself? And in the long run, it will also turn out to be a barrier of a sort for everybody. What I'll do now, I'll take Srinath first, yeah, for a change. Yeah, so I'm going to keep it a little random. So yeah, Srinath, go for it.
Yeah, so as you said, yes, there are large players in the market, like 99 acres, Magic Bricks and all. So as everybody here in the room would accept that technology is growing at its fastest rate ever, right? So we have very like-minded team which thinks and innovates, even fails and sustains the business, right? We keep innovating a lot of technology that can fasten the process. So with the help of technology and right innovation, you can build beyond what these 99 acres or magicbricks.com is trying to do today. So let me give you an example. Today we have close to around 20-25 international patents which is approved. So with these kind of patents, like what we try to do, just take a pen and paper and draw a floor plan. just take and drag into our platform. Within 2 hours, your 3D platform is ready, which all these big players are not able to innovate or find how it can be cracked. So technology is something that keeps driving us and differentiate us from what these guys are into. With this artificial intelligence, metaverse coming into the picture and 3D interactive solutions, I think we differentiate ourselves from that league. Right? So this is where we feel like we are very different and very competitive in the market to be number one in the space of this real estate visualization.
Lovely. Jesal.
So, I actually look at this as an evolution of the industry, right? So I don't even think about, what are we doing versus what are their barriers to entry. I'm not trying to do what they're trying to do. We have to give them credit to where the technology levels where they started the first discovery of, homeowners, channel partners, developers can list. So there is a discovery process in everyone's mind, right? And they've democratized that process. Whether or not what people are asking there or what they're selling there sometimes can be a little off, right? They might now, until government started digitizing the records, Abhishek would not have been sitting here. Otherwise, he would be reading each and every physical document. And you cannot use, artificial intelligence and automation to kind of scan a lot of those documents. So it's just an evolution of the industry, and it's a space. What we are entering into is not what they are doing, and it's a skill set we have, right? And it can all be complementary at the end of it. We are working with channel partners on both legs, right? So for channel partners to be known to customers, it's really getting, it's just dial effectively as well, right? Now, they may find an owner who's wanting to sell, and there might be a buyer who's interested, but they'll go to CRE and check out the price and say, "Arey, aapne jo price quote kiya wo sahi nahi hai," right? So there's a role everyone is playing in kind of evolving this industry, and now this decade looks very, very interesting, right? And from here, all of these players are not competitors. They are all coexisting and kind of creating the ecosystem to move and propel the industry forward, right?
Very well answered, yeah. I have a thing to learn that there's 99 Acres Magic Bricks, of course, they definitely took a lead and created something which made things easier as well for us. Absolutely, yes. Kenish.
So without a doubt, both 99 Acres, Magic Bricks, PropTiger, Housing.com, beautiful products made. But the way I see it is the product is a really, their support means a lot to us, right? And I think the biggest, I would say, learning from them would be just the network they bring, right? And that's very important as an entrepreneur. I'm sure all of us agree that it's the network that makes us successful. Not like we're successful yet. I think all of us have a lot of growth left, but it's the network. And if you just build a strong network, you will reach where they are. That's my opinion on that.
True, Kenish. Absolutely. Quite a humble answer, though. Srinath, now I have a very specific, the same question, but specifically, before pandemic, when you were operating on your own, and now with Square Yards, where do you see the synergies heading? How is Square Yards network helping you to grow, do things better? And I'm pretty sure that what you have launched in Dubai Metaverse for the Dubai market, it works pretty well because Dubai transactions happen in that particular way. A lot of expats coming in, they're searching for Dubai opportunities from everywhere across the world. So my second question of this this part is also, are you planning to bring that in India as well? And if yes, which city would you be aiming at to start with?
Yeah, partnering with Square Yards has actually helped us. It was very mutual. So we have to thank them because the amount of ecosystem that they have created with the help of technology has made the ease of driving this to next level and next league altogether. As you were telling about Dubai Metaverse, as earlier I told you, the data for Dubai, the digitization data, not the data, the ground level data that we are talking about, the 3D maps data, the city's digital twin, all these data comparative to Dubai, in India it is very less. So you have to manually plot and recreate or use drone technologies or extraordinary platforms like Microsoft flight simulators and things like that to create your own cities. So Dubai was an easy job for us to create because the availability of data was more. So less than 4 or 5 months, we created the entire Dubai city and downtown. With that help, the complete process of home buying and the metaverse journey was created. The same we are replicating right now in India. Close to around 8 cities ka data is already digitally created in our own platform. So major cities like Delhi, NCR, Bombay, Pune, Chennai, Hyderabad, Bangalore, everybody are already created. We are just talking with a lot of developers to plot their projects into that. But Metaverse for Dubai, as you said, they are far ahead. The vision that they have is too extremely on extreme sides. These guys in Metaverse platform think Metaverse as a different ball game. They are ready for NFT, blockchain and things like that. But in India, real estate developers will not spend so much amount of money right now because their focus is to sell their inventories and get the money as soon as possible. So when you have a focus here as a different, but the end result is same. What we have done is we have created the entire metaverse for them, but we are telling them, you guys be ready for future today, right? You don't have to do anything right now for metaverse or spend a huge amount of money and create your own worlds or your own world. Instead of that, we create the world, you be part of it. We will, instead of spending on each and every developer creating their own metaverse, how does the traffic come into it? It is going to take a lot of time for people to come into that metaverse. But being a top leader in metaverse right now in the world, we have already been partnered with Fortnite and Decentraland and game platforms like this where millions and millions users comes every day as to play the game. So we can create, for example, a world of XYZ developer into these game platform, right? Down the line in 5 years or 10 years, these gamers would become a mutual buyers of all these developers. So the content that we create, the digital twins that we create, for sales of real estate, we provided for Indian market today, and we are future ready. So once the metaverse buzz starts in India, the developers don't need to go and search and spend huge amount of money or searching platforms like Meta or Unreal or Fortnite because we are already there in them. They just have to come and say, go ahead, you PropVR, you just take me into the metaverse platform. That's what we have built here for Indian cities.
So here, while we're talking, I just came up with an idea. Keval bhai, he's the one, he's pulling off the whole show. He's the CEO at CREDAI-MCHI. So next time when we do the property edition, if by the time the metaverse for the Bombay is ready, we can have a hybrid model, a physical as well as an online one. Would love to engage and see what are the opportunities lying ahead.
True.
Okay, coming to Abhishek. So with CRE-MATRIX and Index App, the companies that he's backing, he's backed by one of the most renowned names into the luxury space, and in India, in the real estate space specifically, called Sotheby's. My question to you, Abhishek, is how has been the partnership going? Has it been strategic? If strategic, what is the leverage or what is the benefit both of you are getting from each other? And my second question for this part also is, in the US market, we all know Zillow, right? They started something called Gestimates. That was their start, which got them the initial traction. Are you trying to attempt a similar kind of a thing with the new journey in the B2C with Index App, making people aware about the possibilities of the same, how much their homes will go for? Is it the similar strategy as a GTM that you're trying to attempt? That is one personal query that I had from you.
Okay, the second one is very easy. Anything is possible with startups because we are not Titanic, right? We are very nimble, very fast to think, and we can move. So the very simple question tha, simple jawab hai, anything is possible, wait and watch, right?
Absolutely.
But the first one, now I don't want to sound like the Mr. Alibaba, that, but we really went to more than 25 VCs, and each one of them rejected us, simply saying, we love you, super platform, super vision, but B2B SaaS Hindustan mein maja nahi aa raha. US mein hota to baat alag hoti, right? And then we said, okay, fine, we'll keep continuing. The endurance has to be there. That's number one. Number two, Sotheby's has been a client for last 4 years, right? We didn't realize when that client became friendlier and that courtship got converted into a marriage. We didn't really realize it, frankly speaking. Amit just one fine day said, "मैं Delhi से Bombay आया हुआ हूँ. Why don't you meet me at Taj Lands End? 30 minutes, just tell me about your platform, what is going on." and that conversation went on for about 5 hours, right? And then probably I literally got up with the check in my hand. Now, I'm not saying VCs, I'm not saying one over the other, but VCs tend to be very focused. We invest, quarterly growth, quarterly returns, पैसा कभी आ रहा है, multiplier क्या है? ये लोग क्या है? They understand धंधा. They understand what the business is, right? So that way we are strategic. They're obviously luxury, which is just at the tip of the iceberg. We can be everywhere. So from their perspective, we can give them data they want. From our perspective, we get Amit's network. Again, back to the network. So it's just a perfect marriage.
Lovely, lovely, Abhishek. So guys, if there's any learning, Mr. Anuj Puri, he was here on the first day at the inaugural himself. It was done between him and Baman sir. Fortunately, he's one of your backers with his company Anarock and SDFC Capital. Two worlds, different kind of players. How are you leveraging this, network, their network, and what is the support system they are seeking out of you, or are they not, or is just a strategic investment from their point of view? So how the both side of the operations going as of now?
So we are in our very early days, right? So when I look at what we are trying to solve as a problem, right? It's a very deep problem, and it's, technology is one aspect. We talked about 99 acres, Magic Bricks, they had a role to play. When it comes to something like pricing a home and understanding that this is fundamentally a problem, their perspective on this is what brought us together, right? They are leaders in the industry. Their coming on board, our shareholding, is a validation of the problem, first of all, right? We are not trying to reinvent, what Kenish is trying to do is really create new products so that they are accessible to many more people. This is a completely different way of kind of looking at homes through COVID, and I think if we are at a point of no return, people, once they are hooked onto technology, they are not going back, right? They are not going back. I was reading a very interesting article on how the toffee industry is suffering because UPI has come. The panwalas are not giving back change. They don't need to. So they understood the problem. So it's a validation of that. They saw a unique set of skills. Unfortunately or fortunately for us, pricing a home is just not that easy. I look at his data. I am a client. But there are so many more aspects, right? And what we have actually built into our decisioning system. True. And that's a very unique skill set. Then we have skill sets of finance, strategy, and brand, and marketing, and technology. So it was a very unique team for them and to see and kind of come forward. So we do leverage their perspective in the industry. I mean, to have them, obviously, I'll be silly not to at least use them, interact with them to say what is their perspective on how things should be. I mean, they have 30, 40 years of experience in the industry, right? So that's a given. Their perspective and access is valuable. I mean, it's definitely valuable. So that goes part of the, they are not seeking, they are excited that they will be part of the future where things are changing, right? And they also are doing a lot more things on that front beyond just us preparing the ecosystem for the future, right? So in that sense, it's a little bit of a give and take. But, I think to have shareholders like them, the confidence they have put in us is something that we can translate when we are talking to customers, that we are serious institutional guys as well while we are a startup. And their interest, consumers' interest, or when we work with developers is paramount to us, right? Absolutely. And that, with this kind of shareholders, it kind of goes without saying why this combination is together, right?
So, as Jesal mentioned, a word called ecosystem, right? I believe it's a detailed debate in itself. We will do it some other day. But just to give everybody an idea, there are many players. One where, Srinath is part of, which is Square. They are building an ecosystem of their own. The ecosystem here means everything. जब आप अपना घर खरीदने जा रहे हो, तो different stages पे different चीजों की जरूरत पड़ती है. उसके लिए different companies काम कर रही होती हैं. And that is where a lot of larger players are trying to operate. So Square is one ecosystem. Anarock, Anuj sir is building one ecosystem in itself, which we will talk in person. Today is not the right time for that. So since we are coming to the last two, section, I'll quickly seek a question that is very personal I wanted to know at least. That is, currently when the whole journey that you're solving for the customer, how much of importance that you're giving to technology in terms of what is it that you're trying to do differently in terms of technology use case, whether when it comes to the customer experience part of it, the CX part of it, right? Which is what time they will be getting a certain communication from you, like in terms of prop returns, am I getting an idea that, how much yield am I getting on month-on-month basis, or is it increasing? In your case, what are the new opportunities based on my previous searches? Am I getting it or not? And towards the whole transactional journey, right? Because one of the largest problems that you all are solving is how not to be a 99 acres and magic bricks. I'm sorry, I'm again quoting them. But the idea is very simple, that somewhere the customer journey for them was broken. I search and I get done with it. But some of you here are trying to take the journey forward towards the transaction, towards the fag end of the whole experience. So how much leverage of technology, what is the unique thing that you're doing? And with that, if you could just give a small understanding to the people, what is the customer acquisition cost currently that you guys are facing? Since the legacy players get a lot of traction organic, you do not, right? You have to pay at times. Or if your strategy is organic, then how are you going about it? So to keep your customer acquisition cost at zero, let's say. So I met Zapki Shubhankar yesterday. He said our CACs are zero. So that was a surprise for me. I tried to understand how, and then he had an answer. I want to understand from you, what is it that you guys are doing? So,
I'll start.
Srinath, yeah.
So our CAC is in thousands, like probably yes, but once the customer is acquired, like our portfolio has been in such a way that 98% keep giving us repeated orders. The reason is because, guys, in real estate, once the RERA is out, once they are going for hot selling of the product, they want content in 7 to 10 days for showcasing or marketing the product. Now 7 days, 10 days, they do a launch and they start getting many people coming as walk-in. They want to sell the projects immediately, get bookings from them. So what we do here is we automate a lot of process of creating in the softwares. So we work on gaming engines, as I already told you guys, like Unreal and Unity. We have made a lot of automations. We don't have to keep recreating whatever we have done for the previous developer and the next developer. The process is same. So maybe the elevation would look different. The amenity swimming pool would have been in the entrance, would have gone backside the project now. So the automation and usage of technology can really help you guys. So you have to focus there, which can fasten the process of creating these kind of 3D content. This is where our customer acquisition cost is becoming very less. One time we onboard a customer, he's there for us for lifelong, who's giving us repetitive orders. That's where we are very unique and very strong at.
Lovely, yeah. Kenish.
So the way we see it is technology. Usually for an investor to find the right investment grade asset for him, it takes days, right? You make multiple calls, you do make financial models, you talk to multiple people, you verify that data, that entire timeline, and finding something which actually fits you takes days. On our platform, you can do it in seconds, and that's just because of the tech stack we use, right? Beautiful financial models created, each and every decimal point of rental income, lock-in, everything is mentioned. So I think that's the biggest advantage of technology. More importantly, investors or customers have access 24/7 to these asset classes, see the returns, compare the different asset classes without making a single phone call. So that's the most, important use case of tech.
Super. Abhishek.
So I called my CTO that at least tell me what stacks we use, right? So he threw some dangerous words at me, MongoDB, MySQL, Falana Dinka. So as long as that gets work done, I'm okay with it. But I'll answer this question with an example. One of the largest banks in India approached us and said, whenever we open a new branch, or existing branches come for leasing, and these are branches in thousands, right? Because I think this bank probably has 22,000 branches in India, right? Rural, semi-rural, urban, whatever. You think he has information on the 5 neighboring other banks and what rent they're paying? Answer is no. When we give this information to them, then they know that, and banks don't take leases for 5 years, they take for 20 years. If technology wasn't there for us to extract data from the government, read it in the gorgeous Hindi, Marathi, Telugu, Tamil, Bengali, Gujarati, whatever, and convert that back to English and make it available for these customers of us. I'll give you one example of the bank. That bank has कुछ को पता ही नहीं है कि कितना rent दे रहा है वो, and बाकी लोग क्या दे रहे हैं. Nobody knows anything. It's just andhadhuni going on for donkey's years. Now they know, and they don't want to pay a single rupee more than the neighboring bank. Wow. Right? That is what tech and data can give to real estate. That's tech for me.
That's some insight for me as well. Yeah, lovely. Jesal, since your part of the journey is a little different, right? You are touching two touch points. हम लोग जितने भी यहाँ पे I believe the people are, they are working upon one touch point. कि घर बेचना है, right? In your case, you're selling a home and you're making them buy a new home. So here, how are you using technology to your advantage in terms of the customer experience as well?
Right. So, obviously we are in early days, right? But when you think about what the previous journey was, it was anywhere between 6 to 12 months, right? So मेरे लिए थोड़ा benchmark easy है क्योंकि 6 to 12 months को हम 1 महीना करेंगे. जब Amazon ने delivery शुरू किया था US में भी, तो they were not delivering the same day. Today we have at a very fast pace gone from 2-day delivery, 3-day delivery to 1-day delivery to now half a day to 10 minutes, right? Real estate में that is not the need of the day. We come to that need of the day when we kind of build something that saves us from where we are existing, right? So अगर 6 से 12 महीने की जर्नी है, उसको हम 1 महीना कर लेंगे तो बहुत बड़ी बात है, right? But another perspective I'll give you. If we were to start this same business, let's say 15 years back, right? It would have been a very, very localized business. My skill sets may have been more, not just maybe within the country, but maybe in some other parts of the world as well, right? But if he was not giving me the data, right, in a form and shape, there was a natural hurdle to kind of going and becoming a national player, right? And being able to process data very fast. So we have two goals, right? When we are trying to become an enabler for the ecosystem, one, we have to do it smartly that we don't shoot ourselves in the foot, and we give value to the customer, and we give value to the developer, right? And two is we have to make these processes smaller and smaller and smaller. Ultimately, जो customer के mind में journey है of making a decision, उसको जब data ज़्यादा दिखेगा over a period of time, वो भी छोटी होती जाएगी. It's just because I give him a fair offer doesn't mean he has to take my offer today. वो भी थोड़ी अपना research करेगा, समझेगा नया घर क्या खरीदना है. So it's a long journey. We are talking about a long-term game. We are not talking about next year or the year after that. We are talking about 15 साल बाद लोग कैसे transact कर रहे होंगे, right? We are a big country. There are enough transactions, and we have a long way to go, right? So we are coming from a period, and we are now starting there. So technology has two roles. We are looking at two parts of it. One is the data engine and the pricing engines, right? So we already have our own decisioning systems internally, which we completed, right? Data is a very intriguing thing. He had a viewpoint, he's giving good data. He had a viewpoint that data is not good, right? The answer is that both of them are saying is the truth. What he is saying is what he is picking up from the data, right? But what he is saying, I agree with him because there's much more to pricing than just looking at the last transaction that happened, right? या लास्ट रेंटल दैट हैपन बिकॉज उसका घर कैसा था, उसका घर किधर फेस करता था, उधर उसका नीचे वाले में था, ऊपर वाले में था, लीकेज का इशू है नहीं है. प्राइसिंग इज अ वेरी कॉम्प्लेक्स थिंग. एंड एज वी गो थ्रू टाइम, अगर मुझे 6 महीने पुराना डेटा मिला है, वी हैव सीन दैट देयर हैव बीन ट्रिमेंडस सेल्स इन द न्यू होम मार्केट, राइट? एंड प्राइसिंग हैज इम्प्रूव्ड एज वेल, एंड देयर हैज बीन अ सर्टन, बट द एग्जिस्टिंग होम मार्केट इज स्टिल गोइंग थ्रू इट्स ओन journey right now, because there has been a re-rating in the market. So all of that will happen. So data is one thing that we have to curate. We have to build it a robust system that is flexible to the different situations, and that is taking all the different time aspects as well variable aspects, right? And that is one part of our technology. And I think the whole automation suite in terms of making more and more enjoyable experiences for customers to make those decisions. I would not necessarily want to build something if I can synergize with Srinath right here, and then all of those things will be plugged in. But fundamentally, we need a robust system to be able to kind of keep building this data just like CRE has from our perspective, not from his perspective, and have that logic built in. Ultimately, what is logic is what the human brain is capable of, right? But I cannot be in Hyderabad at the same time. I cannot be. That's why 10 years back, 15 years back was not the time for this business. Today with technology is why we'll be able to deliver in this business, right? Today we are already in Bangalore, we are already in Bombay, Thane, right? So we are taking the hard route and saying, you know, we need to take all kinds of situations, and hopefully in 10 years we will have an ecosystem of real estate where pricing is far more standardized, data is far more cleaner. When I look at his data point, I know he is, you know, I'm not thinking, let's not talk about why I'm saying so, right? But those are the two aspects of technology. You know, I'll not go into the tech suite, but there's so much more to do. But we are already on that journey, right? We are making simple tools for customers, but it's such a strong need that even with those simple tools, people are reaching out to us very proactively. Tools छोड़ दो, phone वोन सब उठा के करने लगते हैं कि अरे किसी तरह से ढूंढूं ये कहाँ पर मिलेंगे, right? If they feel like they've not reached us. Generally speaking, that does not happen. So, you know, in that sense, I think technology is a huge enabler. Otherwise, you will not be able to scale, right?
Sure. So, Jesal, while you were speaking, there is one curiosity just arose, and I would ask that question. So, a lot of people here, हम लोग big basket use कर रहे थे, खुश थे, right? And then suddenly Zepto comes in and they say 10 minutes delivery, and then we are criticizing it कि 10 मिनट में क्या होगा? But now we are accepting it कि यार 10 मिनट में हो सकता है, तो we are not choosing the slots for the next day. We are taking the convenience fee and using Zepto, and now the competition, who are the legacy player, they are coming in and they are adopting the same model because they got to compete. Now, since you spoke about something called gestation period, right? Which was more earlier, now वो कम हो गया है. एक customer आपके पास आता है, उनका घर आपको बेचना है, जो घर बेचने आया है, उसको तो फटाफट बेचना है. If I'm not wrong, right? They are not coming here and waiting. So, in this space, in the US market, already this problem led to something called instant buying, and we saw the US market, real estate market coming down heavily. Be it Open Door, be it Zillow, everybody suffered, and they have had a very bad quarters. Do you see that kind of opportunity in instant buying kind of a scenario? Because Zapkey is marketing right now, if what I saw, that in 3 months they are promising, else they will buy the home. So do you think these kind of instant buying scenarios are possible in India, or what are the challenges here?
I read they may buy the home. We do buy the home. So there's a subtle difference.
Yeah.
Our transaction journey starts instantly, right? I mean, we are not a guaranteed sale platform. We are an instant sale. Once I give you a price and we agree and our journey starts, it's etched in ink. I mean, there's no turning back for us. We provide that liquidity, and we obviously have a structure which allows us to create more value for the customer. But, you know, I think when we look at obviously what the US peers started, it was a very powerful idea. Having said that, it's not as big a problem in the US as it is, and their fundamental thesis in a very in a market that has been moving up for the last 10 years, and now we'll see what happens with interest rates and, you know, the situation, economic situation, and you know, Fed increasing interest rates continuously. But while that was a great model for us to kind of look at, their circumstances are very different than ours, right? If it's a pain point there, it's a 5x a pain point here, right? Selling an old home. We are a developing market. If you look at data, primary and secondary market sales are evenly split. There is a market that 85 to 87% of the transactions annually are resale market churn. They add very little on the primary side, right? Because they are a developed market. So we have to kind of adapt that thesis or that approach, and we have to kind of work out our own product. We have to work out our own value proposition, right? And that's why I said in the US, while it's only about a price, here we are saying we have to create a solution for the customer, right? While using some of those parameters. And so in that sense, it's not a one-to-one comparison with the US markets.
Absolutely. Thanks a lot for answering. Now guys, this is the last part of the section. Any questions from the audiences that you'd want to ask the panelists? I'd be happy to take it. Else, I will bounce my last question for the panelists, and then we move on to the next one.
We have a question.
Yeah, Keval sir has a question to ask. Yeah.
Right. So thank you guys. When we were hearing you, many people from behind, one of them came to me as well, if you have seen. So there are a lot of budding entrepreneurs behind. Hello. There are a lot of budding entrepreneurs behind looking at you, and trust me, you guys are icon for them. So, two questions I got, Abhishek, for you and for Kenish. Kenish was a BITS graduate, I believe, right? Yeah. People are tracking you. So somebody told me, I didn't know that. And from there, your journey till date after getting cred and other support is amazing. And if you want to give two sentences of advice to the budding entrepreneurs, I've got people who are studying real estate management as well. They've come especially to hear you guys out. And they want to hear from you and Abhishek. Two sentences if you want to inspire them to take place in future along with you on the stage.
Okay. If I have to say two things for all those who are super young, whenever there is an idea, ideas are awesome. They get converted to Excel sheets. I have made dozens and dozens of Excel sheets. I have reviewed Excel sheets, and they invariably always go wrong. Okay? So Excel पे खाली मत करो. Idea को execute करने की क्षमता रखो. If you don't have it, hire somebody or do something. Create some magic, get a partner, hire somebody, do whatever. But idea se jaruri is execution, right? Because when you will start, you will realize that you've been thrown into a lake of sharks and you have to fight through. You have to swim through, right? That is my only and only advice to anybody. And do something that you like to do. I love real estate, so it had to be real estate. Right? I still remember when Anuj called me 20 years, 15 saal pehle, I was chup-chap sitting in Peru in London, and he told me ki I'll hire you as head of research JLL. I said, "Arey khasak gaya iska." Right? Why is he doing that? I was 26 at that time, and Peru, which is Prudential, had shitloads of data. Right? Anuj had no data. So I said, data ही नहीं है तो analysis क्या करेंगे? So then I said कि जब कुछ भी नहीं है तो जो भी बोलूँगा अच्छा सब सुनेंगे, किसी को पता ही नहीं कुछ भी. So follow what you like and just make sure that you are able to execute it.
So my advice would be, I mean, I'm not that old to give advice, but I would say just start early. Like, I think I failed. This is my 6th venture. I've not told many people, but my 5 ventures earlier just failed miserably. Like miserably, matlab, same thing. Just idea pe idea, execution was very bad. Right? So just start early. I mean, just find what you like. I love real estate, families in real estate. I even have a tattoo of real estate. That's how much I love it.
Oh my God.
I have a tattoo here of real estate.
Lovely.
So, yeah, I mean, like he said, just love, what you love, just pursue it. Keep on experimenting, fail, and just, you love yourself. You love seeing yourself failing, because the amount you get to learn is so much. Like, I started my first venture before I even, I graduated last year. So I started my first venture when I finished my 12th standard. I studied for IIT like 90% of India, right? Miserably failed. And I think it was a great learning experience, because it just made me realize that education is not for me. So yeah, I mean, that's my only advice. Start early, because that's what I actually did. Apart from that, all the advice is from experienced people all here. I can't tell you that, 15 saal kaam karo, 20 saal kaam karo. I'm 24, so yeah.
Yeah, he's 24, guys. Keep in mind.
I just turned 24 last 20 days back.
This is special. This is special.
I wish I could take his advice, but I cannot.
Yeah, we
and
can't.
I wish
None
I
of
could
us can.
have started earlier,
None of
right?
us can. No, I've seen Kenish. By the time my team briefed me that, this is the thing that he's working upon, his idea had changed. And when the team, so he was that quick in terms of operating in this space, and it's lovely to see the growth. So guys, the last query for everybody, quickly, if you could tell, what is it that you're working next on your platform that you're excited about, that is giving you sleepless nights, right? Quickly, if you could get an idea, what's next to expect from you? On your platform, of course, not in a new
definitely.
venture.
So, obviously, not another company. I can't fail again. But yeah, so our entire idea is, like, everyone sitting here can invest in real estate, right? And we want that to happen. See, not everyone, currently our user base is HNIs, right? High net worth individuals who can invest more than 50, 70, 1 crore, etc. right? So we want to give everyone access to an investment asset class. Something, crazy we're working on is we are bringing up an asset class and multiple other asset classes of our own where you can invest 1 lakh real estate related, double-digit returns, guaranteed exit. So we're bringing a lot of crazy products for everyone sitting here because we do want everyone to get access. Currently, only HNIs had the access at one point of time. And we started with HNIs because that is what, our forte was. But now we are bringing products in 1 lakh, 5 lakhs, 10 lakhs, you name it, you can invest in real estate. So you should not be sitting there and be like, why am I not allowed to invest? So that's what we're working on.
So guys, remember, he started out with Amazon. Amazon is about A to Z. He ended up with Zerodha, right? Which is being the Zerodha in the real estate space. That's the A to Z journey that you are tracing. Lovely, yeah. Srinath.
Yeah, we have some exciting announcements that would come in near future, like not future in the sense in upcoming days. So we are actually trying to create the entire real estate customer journey in a much more better way. Just you go for a real site visit and you see a property and you buy it. We are completely bringing this digital. So you can literally walk inside a property which is completely constructed in a digital twin, and you will be having your own avatar. You will be walking inside a project and you can predict, you can see a lot of artificial intelligence technology being inculcated. We can even give data to developers like how the user behavior is, whether this user coming in would buy the property or not, or he's just spending time into that. So there are really big list of updates that are going to come from PropVR in this year.
Lovely, yeah. Looking forward, Srinath. Abhishek.
Remember the example I gave you about one of the largest banks in the country, and they had those 22,000 leases. Those 22,000 leases were sitting in Jammu Kashmir, Kanyakumari, Guwahati, Dwarka, Gujarat, all over the place, right? India's definition, mostly, and I'm just coloring India as a single. India's definition of digitization, matlab scan kar diya to digitize ho gaya. Quite rubbish, frankly speaking. We are digitizing that for them, right? So those documents get digitized, and now that bank can sit at one single place and say, tell me MIS, all right? They can do an MIS and say, what is my monthly outgo in Maharashtra? How many branches do I have in Bombay? How many leases are expiring in Karnataka? Right? So this product is what we have just building right now. It's primarily for all retailers or landlords or whoever who've got more than 20, 30 income generating assets. So that they all come on a single platform or a dashboard and immediately tells you kiska GST bhara, kiska TDS kata, what's going on, all on a single dashboard. Right? So this product is in the makes, it's pretty much ready. It's piloting with that bank, right?
And what are you calling it?
Oh, it's called CRE-MATRIX.
Lovely.
Right?
Okay.
But I'll share one more story with you. This is really funny, and this is again for all those young boys and girls. So when we created a product which has not been very successful, it's called RE Loans, where we have targeted all loans taken by any developer in India, right? And I can see some developers sitting over here. Any developer जिसने कोई भी बैंक से लोन लिया है, bank, NBFC, HFC, doesn't matter. We have it all. It's approximately 15 lakh crores, right? Somehow RBI found out that we have this information, and they called us. During the conversation, the discussion, they say, हमारा data हमको ही बेच रहे हो? Because it's their data, right? Banking, they are the my baap of banking. So they actually got offended, saying that this is our data. You're taking our data and selling to us only. The point is, we're not selling you data. We are selling you intelligence that sits behind the data, right? And they were also compelled to become our client because that data they used to track that who's going NPA, not going NPA. Because that's very important as part of their KRA.
RBI is on your clientele. That's a news to me. Okay.
So I'm just trying to give a perspective. Sorry, I was saying this for a reason, but it's just a story. Ki if you have the right product and you're able to package it in the right fashion and be nimble in terms of customization, right? Jesal might use it differently, Govind might use it differently, Kenish might use it differently. If you're able to give it and package it the way they want to see it, what they want to hear, you've got all of them as your clients then.
Lovely, Abhishek. Thanks a ton for giving us a deep insight. Jesal, over to you.
So, in the long run, Govind, we want to be that one-stop shop when people want to transact, purchase or sell residential real estate with certainty, right? When we look at our current model, that is just a starting point. And we are scratching the surface at this point in time, right? What we are immediately working on, obviously we build some tools. We want to integrate the consumer journeys. We wanted a robust internal system first, right? So we've kind of we have started some initial customer engagement tools. Pricing is a very complex thing, so we are working on those things. Our decisioning tools are ongoing. So all of those things, how do we integrate the consumer journey and start making our journey? Because we are getting a lot of inquiries, and sometimes people don't care about technology as much when they say that, acha, you'll solve this problem for me. So they try and reach out to you anyways. But we want to make that a very organized journey, right? At some point in time, obviously, we'll translate that once the brand is much larger in terms of allowing them to choose and pick right there. But today they do need that, need to speak with someone as well. So we are integrating them with our internal systems, and at the back end, the automation, etc. will happen. So we'll prioritize on all of those. Pricing is a totally different. We are working on those data science kind of things. So all of these things keep us awake at night, to be honest. We are very appreciative of the developers who are working with us, who are embracing this product, because at some point in time, he rightly mentioned that everyone has realized, even the developers, that the journey is changing. The product is the same. The journey is changing. The medium is changing. Technology is making it easier for developers. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. Outdoor was predominant way of selling your product prior to COVID, right? I mean, digital strategies and marketing tools are now a point of no return, and consumers are adopting. You asked me a question about customer acquisition cost. There's always a customer acquisition cost. It's never zero, right? Unless until you are a religious establishment, right? So then the customer acquisition cost is zero, but it's a pull product. It is solving a real problem. So it is quite low in that sense, right? And as the journey evolves is when we want to really measure. We are not thinking so much about that part of it. We want more and more people to understand our product. At a stable state is when you start understanding, what is the real cost. But right now it's quite, when we have to reach out to customers, it's not, it's just the data is very broad and we have to clean that up and stuff like that, right?
Lovely, Jesal. And thanks a lot for amazing insights that you guys gave to the audience. For me personally, I have learned a lot. I would love to have more conversation backstage. For those who want to engage, these guys will be here for a while, so keep interacting. Now I will be thanking the CREDAI-MCHI team, Keval Bhai, and the panelists for being so wonderful and so vocal about the journey. Thanks a lot, everybody, for joining in. Please stick around. We have the next panel starting within no time, and that is on PropTech driving sustainability. And over to you. Thanks a lot.
Thank you very much for the wonderful panel. Can we have a louder round of applause for the panelists? So, Kenish, I wanted to ask you a question. You said you love real estate so much that you have a tattoo of real estate, right? So did that happen after this venture was successful, or was it before you started this venture?
No, just 2 months.
Oh, so it was successful, all right. So I would request Mr. Wahid Mirza, the legal advisor, CREDAI-MCHI, to join us on stage and present our fondest token of appreciation to Mr. Jesal Sanghvi. A token of appreciation to Mr. Abhishek Kiran Gupta. Tarun sir, if you could please join us. We request Mr. Satish Kumar, our head secretariat, to join us on stage. And present it to Mr. Srinath Kandal. So gentlemen, just so that you know, these are green certificates. We've planted 10 trees in Maharashtra for you on your name. And these are a certificate for the same. We request Mr. Shriram Kunjimansi from Smarta Dharma to join us on stage and present a token of appreciation to Mr. Kenish Shah. And finally, requesting our COO, CREDAI-MCHI, Mr. Keval Columbia, to join us and present a token of appreciation to our moderator, Mr. Govind Rai. Thank you very much. Can we request the panel to just step ahead for a photograph? And ladies and gentlemen, the next panel that is about to start now is PropTech, Driving Sustainability. So the next topic of discussion is PropTech, Driving Sustainability for Real Estate. We have a wonderful set of panelists who will be joining us on stage. And क्योंकि ये इतना अच्छा topic है, we have not one but two moderators moderating this session. So we'd like to thank everyone on stage. Thank you very much for your valued time.